I'm going to just stop my video and mute myself, okay? So I won't be listening to you guys, or you won't hear me, all right? So
Okay.
enjoy. I know you guys did a dry run yesterday, so I'm sure everything will be fine today.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, Mike.
see ya. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning again, ladies. How are you?
Morning.
Great,
Well, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Out of my bed, up and early. So, and this is early for me because this is my COVID-19 norm. So it's not 7 o'clock again, trying to run on campus for 8 o'clock class. So this is my new early. So we're just gonna jump right into things. So let me just say welcome again to our GCSA connection, where we keep students connected and informed in this COVID-19 crisis and beyond. So welcome again, ladies. So this morning we're just going to do a quick chat, nothing too long, just to help students to get to know you a little better. So I will be throwing questions in between the two of you, pretty much the same questions, but alternating it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with Chrissy, and we're just going to ask you to give us a quick intro of yourself and a little bit about your credentials and how you're coping with the isolation.
Okay, so I'm a student success advisor for the Orillia campus. I've worn various different hats in the college system over the years. So I think that really helps me to help students navigate the system from a bit of more of a holistic perspective, and sometimes perhaps help them see things from another perspective. I just completed my doctorate in education, so I consider myself a bit of a professional student. So I get the struggle. Yeah, that's a bit about me.
Yeah. Okay. Same for you, Nicole. Just a quick intro, and tell us a little bit about your credentials.
Sure. So I've been with Georgian for about 5 years. I initially joined as a mental health and addictions transition worker out of the Barrie campus, and then 4 years ago moved to the Orillia campus, just like Chrissy, as a student success advisor. In terms of my credentials, my background is social work. Recently graduated from Lakehead's Master of Social Work program, which was awesome. Yeah. And yeah, those are kind of, that's where I'm coming from.
Wow. So you ladies wear pretty big hats. Now I'm tempted to come out of my little hat and to expand myself some more. That's pretty awesome. So you have the qualifications to really guide the student body, and that's awesome. Now just to ask you guys, how are you coping with this isolation, quarantine, whatever they call it, that's happening as a result of COVID-19? I will ask Chrissy to comment on that first.
I think it's taken a while for me and my family to kind of fall into a new routine that's working for us, everybody being at home, working from home. So much of everything that's happening right now is outside of our control. So I'm just really trying to focus on what's within my control and carving out moments and space in the day to really do those things I enjoy. So trying to get outside a little more, read for pleasure a little bit more than I sometimes have the time for. So those are some positives.
Oh, awesome. And that's, me too. I'm trying to work my way around this because I'm a social butterfly. So you should understand that it's killing me. But, we're all trying to do the best we can to cope. So I will ask Nicole the same questions. How are you coping with, the isolation, the quarantine, this whole COVID-19 norm?
I think, I'm experiencing a lot of kind of ebbs and flows or ups and downs when it comes to coping. I think on great days, COVID-19 has allowed me to have more time and space to try new things, to find opportunities, to you know, whether it's learn new skills. I've cooked more than in the last 2 months than I've ever cooked in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots more time spent outside than I normally would if I was cooped up in an office. But then that there are definitely some days where it's really hard to cope.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I do try and see the positives.
Yeah.
The coffee is much better at home than it is on campus. So
At least
that's
you
a big,
got one good thing out of it.
yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Okay, so quickly, just to ask you ladies to describe your role at the Georgian College, the Orillia campus to be more specific. So I'll start off with Chrissy. Tell us a little bit about your role at Georgian College. You know, how do you help the students?
So as student success advisors, Nicole and I work with students to help build both personal and academic resilience, to help students really thrive or flourish, not just at college, but beyond. And I think it's worth taking a moment to really highlight that we truly do mean the personal and the academic, because we get that, you know, one influences the other. And so, you know, we help students to set goals, to work towards those goals. And also, you know, that can include connecting students with other supports and resources on campus, and help navigate that system. So we're here to support students in their transition into college or into a new program, but also, you know, throughout their journey. And that will look different for each student, and that's okay. We're really here to meet students where they're at and tailor our supports to them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so even I know you mentioned like student support, like under a general umbrella. But if I might just ask you like a little follow-up question, can you give me like one specific example so that, you know, somebody listening would be a little bit more clear, like something specific, for example, you know, what would you help like a student to go through? Like, for example, me now, I know I struggle with technology, you know, how would you help somebody like?
I could, oh.
Well, Nicole, you could take that up.
Yeah, so one, I think, kind of a good example of our role and what we do, or a common student might find their way to us is, let's say you're a third semester student and you have fallen behind and haven't submitted anything in 3 weeks.
Okay.
The reason for that is very different from student to student to student.
Yes.
Is it always something to do with their academics or their study skills? No. Is it always something that's going on personally? No. Is it usually a combination?
Yes.
So as a student success advisor, we're able, as Chrissy said, to really meet people where they're at, to listen to what's going on and figure out kind of what combination of what personal resources do they have, what resources do they have on campus, what do they need to kind of, for a student that's fallen behind, to kind of get organized and bounce back. And there's no cookie cutter approach to that. So our role, kind of the best part of our role is to find that unique approach to each student to help them.
Okay, so you basically meet the student, you know, where they're at. Because I know, for example, you'd have like a student that just lost a relative, like you said. It's not because the student is negligent or anything like that, why they're falling behind. It could be like, you know, there's a loss in the family, you know, something that's causing them to linger behind, right? So you listen to the stories and you meet them where they're at. Am I safe to say that?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'll just ask Chrissy, how are you adapting generally? You know, I know you mentioned in the introduction just briefly about some of the things you're doing, but how are you adapting or responding to this COVID-19 crisis to help navigate students, you know, throughout this period and beyond the crisis?
So we're continuing to support students one-on-one. So that being said, there's obviously some changes with us currently working from home. So there's a lot more emails. So we're getting through those as quickly as we can.
Yes.
Students have the option to connect with us over the phone or through a video conferencing platform like WebEx. We're really trying to let the student direct how they would prefer to connect.
Yes.
We're also really trying to be innovative in our approach, to think about how else can we not just support students, but help students connect and maintain that sense of community. So Nicole and I have been doing quite a bit of brainstorming around that as to how we can support students over the summer in more creative ways.
Yes.
And so we would just ask students to keep an eye on their weekly emails from us, and more details to follow on that.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. And I'll ask Nicole pretty much the same question. You know, what changes have you made? You know, how are you adapting to deal with this new COVID-19 norm in terms of supporting students?
I think, you know, when working remotely, we really have just had to tap into a lot of sort of the values and approaches that we would normally take if we were on campus. So really tapping into that source of empathy, and really, you know, putting ourselves in students' shoes, and trying to understand all of the complicated variety of stresses that a particular student might be coping with. As Chris said, like that creativity and that innovation, or the ability to think outside the box. If a student you know, reaches out for support, and then we write back, and then we don't hear back from that student, maybe we could go about it in a different way. How can we engage with that student? How can we make it so that, you know, if there are barriers in place and there's a reason a student is not getting help, is there anything we can do to address that?
Yes. And like you said, you know, there are individual differences, and people are taking this thing different ways. You know, some people are using the time to learn more, you know, more skills. Some people are becoming creative, and some people are just having a hard time, you know, depending on the circumstances at home. So we just have to, you know, like you ladies have the skills to really help them to navigate, you know, their different situations. And that sounds wonderful. So just to kind of wrap things up, I'm going to go back again to Chrissy. If you should give one piece of advice to the student body now, and I mean, even for staff listening, what would that be?
I would say let's just all be kind to ourselves and remember that we're all human and in this together. You know, I had a student recently share that she wasn't sure if she would be able to connect, though she wanted to, because she had some young children in the house with her. You know, to which I replied that, you know, chances are if we connect, I might have one or two little ones on my lap. So I think we just really have to be, as Nicole said previously, really empathetic with one another.
Yeah.
And recognize that we really are all navigating a new reality. And so, you know, that's absolutely fine. If you want to connect with us and you've got, you know, little ones, pets with you, what have you, we're still here to support you however we can.
That's right. Thank you so much. And over to you, Nicole. What would your one piece of advice be to the student?
I think especially as I think about our students on the Orillia campus and those who will especially be studying this summer, these are not going to be students who are in their first semester. And sometimes there can be a sense that, well, I've never reached out for help before. Right. So now I've got to just go on alone. You know, I never met Chrissy in person. So why would I reach out and have a video chat with her? She doesn't even know me. My one piece of advice is to just press that send button, request that meeting. You know, you can meet on your phone. Oh, I guess that's a phone call. Meeting on your phone. It's a new. But yeah, just to really muster up the courage that it does take. You know, 12 weeks is a long time. You might be feeling great in the first few weeks, and then week 4, week 5 comes, reach out for help if you need it.
Right. And I think those are great ideas from both of you. Because even for myself, you know, I'm one of those persons, and both ladies, you both know me. I'm kind of that person that, you know, I like to have that strong front. And I know there are a lot of, you know, persons there, especially from a cultural background. And I'm happy that, you know, you guys have the kind of cultural intelligence to approach people from different levels, because we have an international body, right? And sometimes it's not so much of personality or anything. It could be a cultural thing where, you know, you're not allowed to show that kind of weakness. And so you always try to show that strength. And I believe me, I'm learning myself, you know, that, you know, it's okay to have a moment of weakness, right? Even though you're trying to, you know, keep yourself in line. It's okay to have that moment of weakness. So, you know, it's very nice hearing that from you guys, because you have studied, you have, you know, excelled in your areas, and you too are having challenges. So, you know, it's not for any one student to feel bad, right? And I've had to talk to Chrissy too, and her baby girl is there, right? And we are happy to have them join. So, you know, it doesn't matter if you have children in the background or whatever and the noise, and, you know, we can just shut that out and just reach out for help. And that's the general theme that I'm hearing from both of you. Is that safe to say?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So thank you so much, ladies, for your time. I know you are all very busy and you have things to do. So I'm going to leave you to go back to, you know, whatever it is you were doing, enjoying the outdoors, or, you know, taking care of your children. And just, you know, final to say to the student body that you are available for them and they can reach out to you whenever they need to. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Roxanne.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, try to get to, let's see, we're done. Okay.
Hi, I'm back.
Yeah, I was trying not to spoil everything by